this video, we're going to be taking a look at setting up your future date cutoff rule. The first step is to go ahead and click any of the menu buttons located near the grid. Then go ahead and select the Admin tab of the main navigation. And go ahead under Administrative, you'll see Rule Setup. It may be in a different spot depending on how many options you have under Administrative, but you're going to find your rule setup here. The first step once you're in the rule setup is going to be to click the Add button. Now we're going to add a name for our future date cutoff rule. We're going to select regular as our inventory type. Then we're going to go ahead and select our rule type, which is going to be future date cutoff. And as you can see, a quick description here on how this rule functions. This rule allows you to prevent bookings from being made after a specific date. Now let's go ahead and submit to create it. Alright, now the first thing we want to go ahead and do is actually set the last date, which is going to be the date after which no reservation can be made. Alright, now let's click on the calendar and let's select a date. In this case, let's do the 31st of December. Okay, now that that's set, now we'll look at these link to options. Right? Now for these options, these should only be used if this rule is only going to be used in a specific scenario. So the link to options make it so that you can link it to a specific unit type, link this rule to a specific membership type, a specific source, a specific unit, or a specific client. So turning on any of these options will allow you to set it for a specific criteria, or so that it only applies in particular situations. So you have that functionality now. Now, once you've turned on a flag, let's say for a link to unit type, you'll click the three-dot button to go ahead and set that criteria. So it is very important that if you do have one of those options turned on that are not supposed to be on, it's very important to make sure to turn those off if it is not needed in that case, because having it on and not selecting any criteria or the correct criteria, the rule will not function the way you expect. So if it's turned on, let's set it for a specific criteria. Let's say if it was only for the 1-bedroom cabin, I'll select that, and then I can go ahead and submit with that option. Or if it was only for a specific membership type, I'd select that within here, and so on and so forth. You also have that for source, being console or resort web. You also have that option for specific units. So if this rule was only to be applied to a specific unit, you have that over here as well, and you can go through and select which units this rule will be applied to. Or if you wanted to apply it to a specific client, you could go ahead and click link to client, click the three-dot button, and then you have the option of searching for and adding that client to this specific rule, and that will make this rule apply to that specific client or those specific clients. All right, we can turn that off so that with everything turned off, it will apply to everything because we've set no criteria. So you can play around with that just to make sure that it works in your very specific scenario if it's not a general rule for all of your unit types in the system. All right. The other thing that we need to consider, you can go ahead and change this message if need be by simply clicking in the box, removing any of that information, and you can also use some wildcards here on the right hand side by clicking it and then clicking insert to insert that wildcard into this message, and this will be the message that pops up when this rule is broken. So if someone tries to make a reservation after the specified cutoff date, this message will pop up as the booking requirement. So whatever message you want to be displayed, you can enter that here. And then the most important thing, once you're done with the criteria that you've set up, if everything is as you want it to be, then go ahead and click the active flag and make sure that this is on so that this rule is in place. Once you're finished with your setup, you can go ahead and click submit, and now your future date cutoff rule has been created.